Hey everybody, Brent in Central Arkansas. Today I'm going to talk to you about Rose Cherrybear. Rose Cherrybear is my premium parthenocarpic cherry tomato. If you don't know what parthenocarpy is, well, you can look at a lot of the new varieties of cucumber that are coming out these days are parthenocarpic. And what that means is that it doesn't need pollination from bees or anything like that, and most of them are females. And so all the females end up growing. They don't need to be pollinated. So you don't need bees, you don't need to hand pollinate, you don't need wind, you don't need anything else. They'll just continue to grow. And that is true with Rose Cherrybear I'm about to show you. So I want to talk to you about some of the qualities of Rose Cherrybear. And I'm doing this video because, well, I've got to clean up the plants a little bit, remove some suckers, pin them to the trellis behind me, and just kind of, you know, create some more airflow and yeah, just management, you know, plant management. So let me turn it around here. I'll show you some of the fruit that are coming on. Unfortunately, none are ripe. It's still early in the season. But I'll take you in and we'll look at the fruit. I'll show you what it looks like both before and after the cleanup, and yeah, just kind of a reintroduction. And for those of you new, an initial introduction into Rose Cherrybear. And by the way, if you didn't know, the bear on the end of my parthenocarpic lines, B-E-A-R, is by definition, bear is production, bearing fruit, bearing, well, fruit, yeah. So that's the purpose of adding bear to the lines. It's just a quick introduction. So Rose Cherry, because it's a cherry tomato, bear, Rose Cherrybear. My two other tomatoes that I'm diligently working on to bring forward. Now I've created over 20 different lines of parthenocarpic tomatoes, but I'm focusing on three. Rose Cherrybear is one. Another one is Brandy Bear. It's got brandywine in the background, and then Roma Bear, which has got a San Marzano in the background, and some other parents. I'm bringing in disease resistance and stuff like that too in the breeding work. But this video is about Rose Cherrybear, so let's turn the camera around and take a look. I use basic, make sure you can see that there, basic tomato clips when I'm attaching to the trellis here. So let's get it up in an area here, a Y here, that's very supportive. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to remove some of the lower branches, because with all the foliage from these beds all the way even back, airflow is going to be important. So let's see here. You really only need about 12 leaves on a fully mature plant, and that'll feed all the tomatoes underneath, plus about 12, the ones that are ripening below, become available about the time it's time to prune again. But in the case of this one, it's a little smaller. I can take the amount of fruit is less. Let's see where this is going, this particular one. You gotta assess it as you go, you know. Okay, this one's coming from right here. So I also want a little bit of sun getting to the fruit, not a lot, but a little bit. So that looks pretty good for this one. Now this is wide off here, so I'll do the other side similarly. Rose Cherrybear is, one of its qualities is very nice plant structure, very healthy leaves, and that was from a crossing, a disease resistant variety I crossed with out of Germany. It produces, as is true with all cherry tomatoes, pretty much crazy amount of suckers, and this would quickly become overrun with suckers, and they take no time at all to get any size to them. So you got to take them out, and the lower branches like here, for example, if I wasn't going to take them out, I'm going to take this one out. I'll go ahead and take this one out. clean it out some, but the others, you can cut them in half and then put them up here. Here's another little sucker here, and affix it to the trellis here, or I could push it through like I just did, and it'll grow up, and I can weave it kinda instead of actually using a tomato clip. So yeah, let me put a tomato clip on that one. The tomato, Rose Cherrybear tomato, is very aggressive, and it's everything I want for plant structure. The size of the cherry tomato, I'm going to show you in just a minute, is phenomenal, because I like cherry tomatoes that are big. It's got a good taste to it, and a really good taste to it. So yeah, it meets all my needs. But while I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and show you two. Let me bring the camera and point it downwards a little bit more. So while I'm here in this bed, this is a dual purpose bed. It's got the next generation of, what's this cultivar? Madison's Cross, a regrow back from the original hybrid, man, almost 10 years ago. I'm regrowing it so that I can grow a sister line from both parents that I can cross back to later to create a hybrid because of hybrid vigor. And so what I'm looking for also is I'm looking for the plant health in here. In this particular case with Madison's Cross regrow, I'm looking for mostly insect damage or insect pressure, and I am getting some striped cucumber beetle and occasional squash bugs. So I've got a I don't know what the name of that, I can't think of the name off of it. I'll put it in the video here, but I use that. It's 1 tablespoon per gallon, and I spray that at night, and it knocks them out nicely. Also, while I'm here, so I'm looking for bugs in addition to the rest of the bed here. But these little weeds, if you want to call it that, while I'm here doing this, which is maybe about once a week, I'll just take and pull these up real easy. That's what's great about raised garden beds and mix, is it's real easy to pull these little pieces of weeds up. It takes no time at all, and then you got a clean bed again. All right, let's do a before. This is the right bed, same Rose Cherrybear. Let's do a before, and then when I'm done, I'll bring you back and we'll do an after. And this is post pruning and securing to the trellis. Now when they get to the top of the trellis, I've got a couple options. I'm not sure what I'm going to do just with it just yet. But it's likely I may take a sucker and start a sucker on the bottom and either cut the top off, tip it, or I may turn it sideways and run the trellis sideways. That would be all of them at the same time, which is kind of a weird version of lower and lean. And when I get to the side, I can turn it around and go across the back if I want to. I can also move some of the plastics on the top and secure it growing along the very top of the trellis too. So I've got a few options, and as you can see, they're somewhat close to the top of that trellis. So let's go around and we'll take a look at the tomato from the other side. It's a little better viewing experience from the other side. Here's some tomato. They're still sizing up. Here's the next plant over, well, the same plant but different truss. And you'll notice that, except for when I knock them off when I'm pruning and yanking leaves through, there's going to be a tomato on every single flower. And look at the size of that compared to my hand. It's going to be a beautiful bite of tomato when that sucker ripens up. They're a nice color too. It's what's called rose. It's very rose colored. Of course, roses come in all different kinds of colors, don't they? So yeah, so you can kind of see from this truss too, there's tomatoes on every one. This one I trimmed off the end because it had a leaf growing from the truss, and well, it's just not good look for me, so I just pluck it off. Here's the next truss up top. They're starting to grow. Trusses on our tomatoes on every truss, and they're all doing it. Now this is the, I think it's the, let's see, that was 3, 4. I think this is the 4th generation. So from plant, there's 2 trusses, I mean 2 leaders coming off of here. One was a sucker and a primary stem, but so there's that's the same plant, but each plant is going to be a little bit different still until it's carried out to the 8th generation. So there'll be some differences in the way the trusses develop. Some will be longer, some will be shorter. Some of the fruit will be bigger, some will be a little smaller, and so there'll be variants, and I'll make selections for taste primarily because they're very similar right now. But color and truss length and amount of production all play into it. Because Parthenocarpy is already secured, and like I said, Parthenocarpy ensures production, especially during the hottest months of July and August here in Arkansas. So if you're in a really hot place or a place that's cold, I don't know, Maine or New Hampshire, and you have very, very short growing seasons, this will definitely help you a lot, because you know, when you're getting in the 40s, these are still going to produce tomatoes. They're just not going to grow very fast. Thank you, Frog, for helping me out with this video. So yeah, if you're in an extreme heat, the plant may wilt a little bit, but the tomatoes are still going to set. Whereas if it wasn't Parthenocarpic, they would drop the flowers. So that's Rose Cherrybear. Just an overview, a little cleanup, a little bed maintenance. And it's Brent, you guys. Please like, subscribe, comment. Like talking to you. We'll see you in the next video.